stream started pretty soon. Definitely hit that like button as we get started here. Guys, welcome to the stream. We're gonna get started here very soon. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We'll get started soon. is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Let me know if the audio is okay, if my mic is good, if the music volume is okay, and we can get started, guys. Let me know if it's all good. So yeah, the market's very interesting right now. For the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 4-hour periods, we have been trading sideways here. Look at the 4-hour chart, and this, this period of time where we've been trading sideways has allowed the alts to start really moving, right? Because there's a lot of money flowing into this market right now, and some people that might have some Bitcoin profits, might move them to the altcoins. There's a lot of money flowing from Bitcoin to alts right now, and that's the thing that a lot of people need to realize, is that when Bitcoin goes up, it actually, there's a delayed effect, but it's also bringing up the value of the altcoins. That's just how it goes, right? Whether you like it or not, that's just the formula. Bitcoin goes up, there's a delay, altcoins don't move, but once Bitcoin starts to trade sideways, the interest moves to altcoins. Altcoins move up with Bitcoin, right? They play catch up with Bitcoin after the pump once we trade sideways. And yeah, that is the formula, and that's what happened recently, which is really, really cool. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the stream. Eric Munzo's in the chat. What's up? Anthony M. What's up, man? I see a lot of familiar faces. Glad to have you all here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hitting that like button as well, guys. Let's see if we can get 100 likes as we start this stream. But yeah, everything's looking great. Looking at the three that I'm most interested in right now, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're both finding a little bit of resistance where we're at here, but that is okay. So there's really a lot to talk about. We can look at Bitcoin on all the time scales, and really the most interesting chart right now is probably the weekly. It's probably the weekly, especially if you're looking at things in linear. It's just unbelievably vertical. We're going unbelievably vertical right now. Let me change this for myself. I'm gonna change the music volume here. I hope that's good for you guys. So yeah, Bitcoin on the weekly is really one of the most interesting charts right now, because it is we are extending we're getting a little bit overextended. I'm not saying that anything has to stop. We could continue to the all-time high. We could go past the all-time high. There's a lot of speculation as to what is going to happen now. Is Bitcoin going to see a huge move above the all-time high before pulling back? Are we going to pull back below the all-time high? What is going to happen here? And then, there's of course very optimistic price predictions where people say that Bitcoin's just going to continue going up to 30, 40K. I'm more so in the camp of people that think we're going to see some volatility around the all-time high level. I think emotions are going to be running high. There's going to be a lot of speculation along the all-time high price. Most likely we're going to see a lot of people taking profits, some people FOMOing, so there's going to be a lot of volatility, guys. A lot of volatility most likely is coming for the Bitcoin price, but that does not mean that we can't go higher. We can still go higher. I'm pretty sure the weekly RSI is pointing to potentially more upside, that we do have room to move up still. So we're going to be talking about all of this stuff. And we're also, of course, the altcoins, because Bitcoin has been trading sideways, the altcoins have been able to move, which is good, And before we continue, real quick, I'm just going to share this on Twitter, so everyone is notified on Twitter. I got a lot of followers on Twitter that are interested in Chainlink as well. So we're going to be talking about Chainlink today, Ethereum, of course, and a few others. Ethereum is looking really good. Ethereum is looking really good. But the real question now is what is Bitcoin going to do? Let me just post this real quick. And there's definitely a few possibilities. So first of all, the weekly chart right now for Bitcoin, we are in a potential, short-term. I would say the price is kind of like melting up, almost like bubbling up. I'm not saying we're in a bubble. Short term, things could be overextended. We could be in a little bit of a short-term bubble, but looking to create a much longer-term uptrend. And we've seen this time and time again for Bitcoin in the past. These crazy parabolic moves, This is the end of the 2017 cycle, of course. This is the end of the 2019 cycle, of course. Now, going back in time, when Bitcoin did these types of moves below the all-time high, usually what it resulted in is just a larger parabolic trend, right? A strengthening trend as we're moving up to the all-time high. And these pullbacks are good, right? Because when you come up to the all-time high and you pull back, it gives investors and traders an opportunity to buy in at better areas of value, to accumulate at good prices, which strengthens the trend moving forward. And then you chop around the all-time high, and of course you go parabolic above the all-time high, but you end up breaking that parabolic trend and moving into a larger scale trend, a larger scale parabolic trend. And that is a possibility. Again, it's very speculative for me to say that. Nobody really knows what's going to happen here, but I think it is possible that around the all-time high level here on the weekly, if Bitcoin breaks this current parabolic trend, we're going to have to see what type of pattern development comes in the market. Now, of course, we could go higher before seeing any sort of pullback, but I would expect some sort of volatility, some sort of formation along this range, whether that be a breakdown of the short-term trend to create a larger scale parabolic trend to then move up to the all-time high and become even more parabolic. If you guys see what I'm saying here, right? This is definitely a possibility that we create an even larger scale parabolic trend, get an exponential increase in demand, right? That is a possibility. And then the other possibility, now the reason I think that that's more likely, we're below the all-time high right now, so I think it's more likely that we would build up to the all-time high instead of ending this as a market cycle. Though we see that a lot of times when we go parabolic, the way that things play out is once we break the parabolic trend. Now, both times, 2019 and 2018, when we broke the parabolic trend, it was almost the same psychology in the market. Looking at the chart here, let's go to log. The psychology was almost the same on both. You had a parabolic trend, you broke the trend, you lost the demand, and then you created a descending triangle, arguably a descending triangle in 2019 as well, and then you break down. Now that's at the end of those cycles. Bitcoin right now has had almost no stopping in the trend, right? We haven't had any pullbacks yet on the weekly, just straight green. So it wouldn't be a surprise to me for us to see a break of this trend, but I think it's more likely that at this point, as we're below the all-time high, we would end up creating a larger scale parabolic trend. This is very common for Bitcoin bull markets, right? I think this is quite likely right now. And this is kind of what I'm looking for here. Coming back, retesting closer to the 21-week EMA, and most likely getting, maybe we do pump up above 20K and then reverse, but I'm looking for a lot of volatility at the all-time high and holding the 21-week EMA and moving up. But the other possibility would be that this is a shorter term market cycle. Now, again, I think this is less likely, but it's possible that this would be a shorter term market cycle. And the way we would know, how would we know if this is like some shorter term market cycle? It's basically, if you got to look for the pattern development. If Bitcoin breaks the trend and we create, just like the other two cycles, a descending triangle and a breakdown, that might just mean that we might have a loss of momentum, and we could be going for an even longer term correction with a base of support down at the 12K level before running up. This type of pattern is also possible, right? So you have to look for pattern development, right? Are we getting, because what a descending triangle means is a decrease in, a flat line of demand at these levels, and then, an increase in selling interest. So you have to look for the patterns, guys. That's what a descending triangle is. Increase in selling interest, flat line of demand, and that would indicate that we actually have a loss of momentum in the trend, and we would probably break down to look to create 12K as the next floor price before running up again. And that would be like a short-term cycle in a sense, because the base of support of this parabolic trend is about 10,000, right? That is the base of support for this parabolic trend. So you got to look for the patterns. That's a possibility. Now, again, like I said, I'm more so in the camp of people that thinks we're going to get a lot of volatility at the all-time high, probably pull back to create a much more significant higher low than before running up again, right? And then pulling back to the all-time high, getting another higher low and rallying up again and creating that longer term bull trend, pretty much hugging along most likely the 21-week EMA or the 20-week, whichever one you look at, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. This is more so what I expect. But, you know, that's just my expectation. My expectation doesn't actually mean anything. And you shouldn't be trading based off of my expectation, because that is not really that important. I'm just sharing my ideas with you guys, that I see either the creation of a much steeper, much larger parabolic trend right along the all-time high and we break out, right? That's kind of what I see as more likely right now, something like that. And then the other possibility, as I just explained, is a, you know, end of market cycle pattern, which would be a descending triangle, just like the past two that you see on the screen, and then a loss of momentum and a potential floor coming in around 12K before rallying again. That's kind of the two scenarios that I see as most likely right now. The least likely scenario, I think, would be just blowing straight through 20 up to 30, 35K. I'm not sure if that's really likely, although I would love to see it happen. I just don't think it's likely. BTC to 20K says, coming in with the €2, he says, Bitcoin looks tired. Will it drag alts down? Well, if it corrects, yes. If Bitcoin dumps, it's going to drag alts down. That's definitely true. Anyway, I was just sharing some ideas with you that, you know, there's probably going to be significant action, most likely, at the all-time high. Now, that is, you know, a lot of people's expectation as well. And it doesn't have to happen. It did happen last cycle, where we had a lot of volatility here. And then some cycles before that, the all-time high didn't play much of a role. Right? Sometimes they don't play much of a role. But again, this descending triangle breakdown pattern for the end of market cycles is so common. Descending triangle breakdown, descending triangle breakdown. But right now, I think that this will more likely play out similar to this, where we create higher lows and a steeper parabolic trend. But we will see. There are a lot of factors that play into that as well. Guys, definitely smash up that like button. We only have 100 likes. We should have at least 400, because we have 477 people watching the stream. So yeah, we just talked a lot about Bitcoin cycles, what you could expect there. Guys, let me know in the chat. Actually, let's do a real quick survey in the chat here. So there's three potentials. One, let's just say number one is that Bitcoin just, you know, moons straight, you know, to 30K. Scenario two, right? Click 2 in the chat if you think we're going to see volatility with a larger scale parabolic trend form, you know, at or around the all-time high, right? This would be 2. Click 2 in the chat if you think this is more likely. And click 3 if you think that this is the end of market cycle, or at least short-term market cycle, with maybe a floor at 12K before rallying again. So 1, ultra bullish. 2, medium-term bullish with the potential, you know, the potential volatility before breaking out. And 3 would be end of market cycle around this area, coming back to 12K. Let me see what you guys think in the chat. It's kind of hard to judge. We're gonna have comments flying in. We got comments flying in. Hold on. I might need some assistance here from my mods. Comments are flying in. Let's see here. Guys, by the way, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And if you are a regular viewer here, make sure you got that bell button checked as well. So it seems like a lot of people in the chat, I see the most common number I'm seeing in the chat right now is 2 and 3. Really? Interesting. Chat is a little bit less bullish than I expected. 42 says Wanderlust. Yeah, the answer of the universe, I guess. But yeah, I think that, you know, whether we go above 20K short term or not, we're probably going to create a larger scale trend, find a significantly higher low before breaking out again. This is just my expectation from my experience analyzing the market, trading the market over many years. Again, this is just, you know, nobody really knows. We're coming up to the all-time high. There's a lot of speculation here. It's just my opinion. My opinion doesn't actually matter. We'll see what actually happens. There's a lot of institutional demand, so it's hard to tell. And there's a lot of speculative demand. We have, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I have friends like texting me saying like, yo, dude, I know you do that Bitcoin thing. Like, should I buy some? Like, I saw it on the news. I saw on the news that it's going to go to 100K. I was like, wow, the news is telling people that Bitcoin's going to go to 100K. And I think that's great. Somebody says 9.6K CME gap. Didn't the gap fill like half the way? Isn't that enough? Isn't that enough for you? Come on, we don't need no gap fill, guys. Gap fills are a myth. We don't actually have to do that. Complete myth. Bitcoin is naturally volatile, and Bitcoin's natural volatility just so happens to fill CME gaps. There are, on occasion, intentional gap fills, but it's not the overall, like, the demand for Bitcoin is not based on CME gaps. I just don't understand people. I don't think people are educated enough to understand that. I guess you're joking, but yeah. So we just talked about Bitcoin cycles, what we could expect, and we'll see, guys. You know, things are getting interesting. Short term, Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart here. Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart, pretty interesting. We had bearish divergence all the way up. Of course, it continuously got negated. It only played out very short term, then ran up. Short term, it played out and ran up. And what is interesting about the trend that we're on here is that we have this, I don't know, I'm calling it an upward sloping parabolic channel. It's kind of what it is. I'm not sure if that is the correct lingo, but that's what I'm calling it. So we have this resistance trend. And on the way up, we've been like hitting it and then slowly trading sideways into the support, hitting resistance, slowly trading sideways into support, hitting resistance, trading sideways into support. Now it's different. This run up, we've just been creating significantly higher lows, and we've actually been aiming for the resistance line on this, what would you call it? The 1, 2, 3rd or 4th, I would just call it the third push up. We've sort of been, you know, getting a lot more bullish speculative demand. And instead of trading sideways into support, we're trading, you know, more vertically into resistance. And, you know, this could be potentially, you know, of course, we're right next to the all-time high. Is it possible that maybe we're coming up on a blow-off top scenario? It is possible. I think that, you know, if Bitcoin does start to, you know, push up soon and we squeeze out of here and the demand, you know, coming up to the all-time high, emotions are running high, people are freaking out, FOMO, panic buyers, right? Panic buyers who are thinking, oh my God, this is the last chance I have to buy Bitcoin before we go to 100K, right? That's probably what they're going to be thinking, and they're going to FOMO in. And then bullish speculators are probably going to be, you know, driving this price up, potentially above the all-time high. And then I would expect to see some crazy volatility, most likely, as, you know, people who are sitting on a ton of profits are probably going to want to, you know, speculate on a potential downturn and take those profits, right? So I'm expecting some volatility at the all-time high. Now, I do think there's totally a chance that we rip through it and hit 20, 21, whatever, okay, before seeing that. But that is just, you know, based off of the continued increase in demand that we're seeing. We'll see. And again, the bearish divergence never plays out. So TA, technical analysis, is kind of just being thrown out the window. Like any signals that you're getting kind of don't really matter that much, because as new waves of people keep coming into the market, there's more, you know, ways. It's not the same old group of people speculating on Bitcoin from 3 to 12K over and over again, right? It's a whole new group of people. So we got different types of money entering the market now, causing the price to be extremely bullish here, which is really, really cool. We got 600 people watching. Definitely hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I missed some chat here. We were just talking about Bitcoin long-term on the weekly. Now we're taking a look at Bitcoin on the 4-hour, talking about some possibilities here. Also, we're going to be going over the altcoins. Altcoins looking pretty good because Bitcoin, again, on this 4-hour here, we've been trading sideways for the past 7, 8 4-hour periods, just straight sideways. And as you guys know, sideways action does allow money to flow into the alts. And that is what we've seen, of course, also because there's so much new money coming in. There's a lot of new market participants, and they look at Bitcoin and they see, oh man, Bitcoin is so expensive, and they're looking to buy something cheaper. And also, of course, we do have a lot of interesting stuff going on with Ethereum, ETH2 coming and all that, or hopefully. So there is room for alts to move in this market, guys. Just like 2017, there's going to be room for alts to move. And I know some Bitcoin maximals don't like that, or wouldn't like me to say that, but it's just the reality, right? Blockchain has more potential than just Bitcoin, right? If you say that blockchain is only limited to Bitcoin, one, you're probably not educated, and two, you're doing a disservice to blockchain tech. Now, I understand if you think that altcoins are very speculative and a lot of them are shit coins. That is true. And it is very dangerous to speculate on altcoins unless you know what you're doing and you know what to research and what to look for, right? The only altcoin you guys have seen me really like shill on this channel is not even really Ethereum, but Chainlink, which has performed extremely well. We're only less than 30% away from the all-time high. It's a top performing crypto in all the top 20 coins, up 500 50% in the past year, doing so well. And yeah, that's, I'm not, when Chainlink crashed, of course, it was a little bit of a worry, but fundamentally, I do believe in the project. Google Trends right now. Sorry for the bright screen. The past 5 years, we're flatlining in Google searches, and we can see that we are getting higher lows on the Google search term, Bitcoin. And let's go to the past 90 days. Yeah, getting higher lows on the trend here, so that we are trending now. We're starting to trend up. Let's go to the past 30 days. A lot of hype here, probably because there was a lot of articles written. Let's go to the past 7 days. A little bit, kind of the flatlining on the past 7 days. If we go to buy Bitcoin, let's go to the past 30 days for this search. It's pretty much the same as Bitcoin. I like to do these ones where it's like, or you type in like how to buy Bitcoin, because this one usually helps you determine more so, if there's new money. And we do see that there is some new money coming in, right? There's definitely some new money coming in, but it is nowhere near. It is nowhere near any type of major peak bull market level. And so let's look at what 2016, end of 2016. Guys, look at this. End of 2016. Look at the search terms. This is very important. End of 2016 for Bitcoin, going into 2017 when we were breaking the all-time high. Really not much searching going on, guys. Really not much Googling for Bitcoin as we're breaking the all-time high. Right here, 2016, 2017. Not much. Really not much going on. It's only until, we're ripping. We're ripping into May of 2017, prices mooning. That's when you start to see the searches coming up. So when Bitcoin hits like 40K, 50K, you might start to see a real big bump in searches. People are going to go, oh my God, I missed out again. And they might FOMO even more, right? And right now there's a lot of big entities buying up Bitcoin. There's not much Bitcoin to go around on the exchanges right now. So yeah, there is a thinning supply of Bitcoin. There's also, you guys already know this one. Balance on exchanges is moving down. I got to log into this. Should have had this pulled up before. I'm not sure why this isn't loading, but anyway, yeah, it's all looking pretty good, guys. And the Google searches aren't even moving yet, not really. So that's good for us. That this is just the first, above 16K. It seems like this was like the wave of bullish speculation, for the most part. I think institutions were buying lower, and then as we started to break above 14, 16, then the articles and the news started coming, and then we had a lot of bullish speculation. You could actually see it on the chart, right? Beforehand on the 4-hour chart, it was nice and controlled. We would come up to resistance, trade sideways into support, bounce into resistance, trade sideways into support, bounce into resistance, trade sideways into support, and now we're bouncing, and for now we're actually just aiming for resistance. We're actually looking to go even more parabolic, potentially have a blow off top here at the all-time high. Again, you can see that we are trading differently because the speculative demand has increased at the end of this run, or maybe it's not the end of the run, but yeah. Slyborg says you called XRP, dude. Yeah, you guys know I'm not a fan of XRP, but I was saying that it's probably going to pump. Well, it really was not a hard guess. Anyway, so we got 636 people watching. Definitely hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's move on to the altcoins. Ethereum, this is the 4-hour chart for Ethereum. Awesome, pumping up above 500, hitting 547 today, almost 548. Still has momentum, still could continue up as Bitcoin trades sideways, right? We could continue moving upward. Now, if we go to the weekly is very interesting here because Ethereum just flipped, not too long ago, a few weeks ago, had just made a major pivot, major pivot here on the weekly chart. One of the most significant levels in Ethereum history, which is a resistance here around 360, around $360. This is huge for the macro trend. Ethereum finding resistance on the weekly right along 360, then finding support, right? So we had a speculative ceiling right here in 2017, after then breaking that ceiling, and then that speculative ceiling became the speculative floor for 2018. right? So 2018, we found support. That was the speculative floor. We broke the speculative floor, and then it became the speculative ceiling. And then we remained below that until really recently, when that became the speculative floor, at least roughly, right? We had a lot of wicks in that area, but that is now the speculative floor for Ethereum. So huge moves for Ethereum. Ethereum, in my opinion, has now officially entered a bull market. This is, a bull market means a sustained increase in price over time. And this to me seems like a pretty sustained increase in price over time. In a sense, Bitcoin is already in a bull market as well. It depends on how you want to define it, because a bull market does not mean breaking the all-time high. That is not what a bull market means. A bull market just means a sustained increase in price over time. And Ethereum is getting to that point where we're really sustaining the increase in price, breaking into new highs again. And we're maintaining higher prices continuously. So we're getting very bullish here. And this is also Ethereum right now. If you go from high to low, the last major swing high here to low. I can't draw this. My mouse is being weird. There we go. We are now coming up to the 618 fib extension. So we're hitting a major target here. The 382 fib extension target was a direct hit in 2019. So the market respected that. And then we chopped in between the 50% and the 382 there. And now we're running up and we're hitting currently the 618 fib extension, which was my target for that Ethereum trade. For those of you that are in my Patreon, that what this price that we're at right now could have been where I took profit, but I took profit one target too early. I took profit here at this resistance of 549 instead of just waiting it out for the next pump. But it was just meant to be a short-term trade, so not a big deal. I did make money on that anyway. But yeah, so Ethereum looking really good from the larger scale. And Bitcoin right now is trading sideways, which is allowing Ethereum to break out. So as long as we can, on the weekly chart, as long as Ethereum can maintain this new speculative floor, and more specifically the 21-week EMA, as long as this can be maintained, over time, no matter what happens, right? Maybe Bitcoin pulls back at some point near the all-time high. As long as we can maintain this new speculative floor or along the 21-week EMA, I think that things are going to be really heating up for Ethereum in the year of 2021. Potentially looking to hit $1,000 next year. Very possible. We only have to go up less than 100% to hit $1,000. And in crypto, that is peanuts. That is completely possible. And one thing that happened recently was that the CFTC, the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, their chief officer, I think, actually said that they like Ethereum and they think that Ethereum is very impressive. So U.S. regulators are impressed by Ethereum, and they're looking to properly regulate it because U.S. regulators actually want the United States to lead in blockchain tech. So the U.S. understands that blockchain is going to play a role in the future, and they know that they have to compete. So the idea that cryptos will become illegal as a whole is not going to happen. Pretty 99% chance that that won't happen. Maybe specific ones. Maybe like one day they'll outlaw Monero or something. Maybe that's possible, but cryptos are here to stay. The U.S. understands that. U.S. regulators are understanding that, and they are impressed by Ethereum. So I think Ethereum has a very bright future. And institutions are probably going to be getting into Ethereum. I think they're already interested in staking as well. But yeah, Ethereum hitting $1,000 next year is totally possible. Totally possible. And of course, short term is always wild. Longer term is really where I have most of my interest. Yeah, looking interesting. We're at the 618 fib extension right now. If Bitcoin does see any type of resistance, you could expect a back test to 490 or so to retest the resistance as support. You'd never be surprised by back testing the breakout zones. Stuff like that happens in crypto constantly. So if Ethereum ever comes back, don't freak out until we actually break the previous resistance. This could easily be, you could easily see a back test before running again to higher prices. Chainlink also doing really well here. Chainlink is doing great. Like I said, even in yesterday's stream, which it seems like this stream is not shadow banned anymore. I was being shadow banned on this channel for the past 2 streams I did. Yeah, there was a big issue with people finding the stream, but now it's looking pretty good. We got 736 people watching. Definitely hit that like button, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, and subscribe as well. So Chainlink is looking great. If we go to the top 20 cryptos, I love to remind people of this for all the Chainlink haters out there. Past 1 year. Let's take a look at the past 1 year list. All right, let's go down the list. Chainlink, 578%. All right, let's see what the other top 20 cryptos are doing. Nothing compares. Nothing compares. So let's remember where Chainlink is, guys. Despite the $20 dump, Chainlink is up 578% on the year, 300% on the past 6 months. It's one of the best. It's one of the best performers still right now. And we are now only 30%, less than 30% off the all-time high, which is also very good considering we're one of the top performing cryptos in the top 20. We're 25% away from the all-time high. We're getting there, guys. Now, for those of you who have been watching my channel, we've been discussing Chainlink a lot, and we've been talking, or at least on the streams we have, and we were heavily focused on that 50% fib extension, $13.66, which is a previous resistance and a previous support and a previous resistance generally in this range. And also we got a direct hit off that during that crazy day that we pumped, the 50% fib extension, and this was our target. This was the area that we wanted to get above, and we said if we closed a daily above it, we'd be headed for 15.15, and that is exactly what happened. Actually, if you're looking at the chart, Chainlink didn't close the daily here. We had 2 dailies that were not able to close above 13.66, and then once we did, we just shot right up to 15.15, and that's awesome. Chainlink making great progress here, ranging back up, holding this nice uptrend. Right, we lost it temporarily, but we regained it. We also reclaimed the 21-day EMA, which was another thing that we've been looking at here on this channel. We lost it a couple times, which was a little bit worrisome, but we reclaimed it, 21-day EMA, the blue line, and then we rallied up, broke resistance, and here we are. Now, the area that we're at is pretty significant for Chainlink because we do have a lot of support here. Right after we dumped off 20, we came back to this area around 15, found support along 15, and then chopped around, found resistance along 15 in this area, and then we bounced, tried to hold it, and broke down. So this area that we're at right now, 15.15, which is also the 618 fib extension, roughly where we are now, pretty much where we're trading right now, is going to be significant. I would not be surprised if you're looking at the Chainlink chart. On the way up, we did have, you bounce off the low, you back test. Just like here, you bounce off the low, Chainlink, you back test. You bounce off the low here, you back test. You bounce off the low here, you back test. So, we don't have to back test. Things are getting very bullish, so maybe we continue straight up. But, don't be surprised to see Chainlink maybe back test support, find support before running up again, right? Totally possible. I would not be surprised to see anything like that. That should always be in your plan, guys. That should always be in your plan. That you're going to see, you break resistance, you back test it, confirm it as support, then rally again, right? That should always be part of your plan when you see a breakout or you're trading a breakout. Usually it's better to trade the back test and you confirm support and then you take your long and you rally, right? That's usually better. But yeah, stop loss is your friend, says David Kim. What is up, David Kim? How's it going, man? What's up, CZ6ZZ? So yeah, I would not be surprised to see Chainlink, and this really would actually kind of be looking a little bit parabolic here on the linear, at least, even if we did backtest lower. I'm not saying we're going to, I'm just saying this should be part of your plan. You shouldn't be concerned or worried if we're retesting support, right? That should be part of your plan. That's just short-term noise, and it really doesn't matter. But yeah, seeing another backtest as I have drawn here, is it possible? Totally. Right, totally possible. Also depends on what Bitcoin's doing as well. And right now for Bitcoin, again, the way that we're trading here is interesting because we were running straight for resistance instead of trading sideways into support, right? We're not getting that usual, for this trend, that usual like sideways action like into support and then bounce again. We're kind of going more vertical here. So yeah, again, like I said, above 16K, a lot of those bullish speculators just really came in, came in real hot and started pushing this thing up really fast. I also wouldn't be surprised if we break this trend line. It's not the end of the world. We still have potential for a retest of the uptrend line, right? This is where we see that the trend of demand for Bitcoin is coming in around this area, right? So if we can really hold that range, then we'll probably be okay. But maybe if we create a pattern that shows a decrease in momentum and we break this trend, that's when you could be looking for potential correction, right? Just showing you guys examples of things to look for. This is not what I think is going to happen. This is just short-term stuff that you could be potentially looking for. If we do break this short-term upward sloping trend line, this would be something, a bearish potential you could be looking for. And if you break that trend line, that could be an area to short Bitcoin or sell or whatever, right? Maybe. Could be an interesting setup. And I would be looking for targets down to 16K, as low as 14 at the lowest, if this did play out. Now, again, I'm not bearish on Bitcoin. I don't have any confirmations. I'm just showing you guys a potential scenario here if we did break this short-term trend and then break the overall trend. EXY, €5 coming in. He says, hey, what do you think of YFI? Do you think it's going away in the bull run? Is it going away? Do you think it's going anyway in the bull run? I'm not sure what your question is. EXY, I appreciate the 5. I don't really have much of an opinion on YFI. If you watch Box Mining, he says that YFI is like the flagship product of DeFi or yield farming and something like that. I don't really know enough about it to really be so certain. I just think that the low supply of YFI is causing intense speculation because they know the price can move much easier with such a small supply. So I think the supply is more attractive than anything else because it's so easy to speculate on YFI and the price can move so quick. And that I think is the real attraction, is the insane moves. Going to 40K or 50K and pulling back to 7K and then running up to 28K again, I think. Isn't that what just happened? Maybe I didn't see it right. I think it's the speculative demand. In a bull run, YFI could do great. YFI could go crazy. It could go nuts. It could go to 100K, 200K if Bitcoin just continues straight up. But the creator of YFI said that it's not supposed to have any value, which I find really strange that he said that. But, I don't think crypto cares. I don't think people in crypto care. They just want to speculate, They just want to speculate. So, yeah, we've talked a lot about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink. What I was saying earlier in the stream is that there are a few potentials here at this resistance. And I think for one thing we can rule out is that that I'm very, very sure to rule out is that this would be some kind of all-time high price for Bitcoin and Bitcoin would dump and never come back again. That I'm just going to rule that out because we have BlackRock. They handle $7.4 trillion worth of assets, one of the top investing management corporations in the world, 7.4 trillion under management. They said recently that Bitcoin will very likely overtake gold to a large extent. So entities handling trillions of dollars said that Bitcoin will overtake gold to a large extent. Very cool. Deutsche Bank says that people prefer Bitcoin to hedge against inflation over gold. Very cool. We got PayPal now offering, crypto products. There's just so much going on. The CFTC wants the United States to lead in blockchain. So anyway, we can rule out that Bitcoin will die. We'll just rule that out. It's going to survive. It's here to stay, unless some crazy quantum computer destroys Bitcoin, or the network and just keeps jamming the network over and over. But anyway, we'll just rule these things out for now and just say that there are a couple scenarios here, and that we know that the demand for Bitcoin is now increasing to a high degree. We don't even have that many Google searches yet. We're not really in a bubble, a short-term bubble, maybe with some sort of correction looming. Quite possible. Long-term, we are not in a bubble. We have barely any Google searches yet. So the hype is not really even there. I think that this run is more so based off of a lack of supply in the market. So right now, the scenario that I think is most likely is that Bitcoin is gonna, maybe we break the trend sooner rather than later, right? But maybe we run up again. Let's just say we blow through 20K. We find a lot of profit takers, a lot of speculation. We pull back, have a really harsh, volatile pullback, and then rally again into the 20K range, and then find support along the all-time highs. Something along these lines is what I think is most likely right now, and then riding that 21-week EMA along the way. So I think we're gonna see some volatility at the all-time high, and then create a larger scale parabolic trend, and it's gonna spook a lot of new money. It's gonna get really spooked here at the all-time high. But yeah, I think that's what's most likely. I think another possibility, and again, a lot of this has to do with pattern development, right? Or market structure. What do things look like? What kind of pattern are we in? Because the pattern that we play out here at the all-time high, which we haven't actually done yet, whatever pattern we create at the all-time high will actually tell you what the psychology is in the market. It'll explain to you what the psychology of the market is. If we just see a huge run up to 20K or more with a fat rejection, that means that we hit a blow off top with a little bit too much speculation to the upside and then too much selling interest. We knock the price down, and then if we create a huge wick down and get bought back up and create higher lows, basically we just indicate that we've had short-term overextension and then reaccumulation at a lower point, but the demand is still there. And that's the scenario that I just showed you. Now the other scenario would be that we run up and then we create a descending triangle in the short term. This is just examples of what to look for. We break down, we hit a low, and then we find a lower high. And then I think if we did something like this, we'd probably end up dumping to a floor around 12K or so. I think Willy Woo was discussing that 12K is like the investor's floor right now, and I would agree. I think that everyone wants to buy Bitcoin at 10K now, and I think 12K would probably be the floor. Anywhere really from 10 to 12K is probably the floor price for Bitcoin at the moment. So this is like a slightly more bearish, yet long-term still bullish outlook potential for Bitcoin. Now, again, this would only happen if we confirm the pattern, like a descending triangle after breaking this trend. And this is be the same as most other market cycles, so just be short term. So that's another possibility. But again, you have to wait for pattern development. You have to wait for structure to build so that you can actually read the chart and read what the mind of the market is, right? And we don't know that yet. Right now, Bitcoin is just mooning, right? We're just shooting up, and there's just a lot of hype, and it's really hard to get a real grasp on what's going on. Because we're just going parabolic, right? There's been no resolution yet. We haven't had a blow off top. We haven't had a dump. We haven't had any real pattern development. So it's very hard to tell what's going to happen. Hard to get a read on the market right now. But again, that's why you need to wait for patterns to play out and for real structure. Personally, I wouldn't want to buy Bitcoin at this price because I feel like I would just be feeding into the hype if I bought here. Or accumulated more to add to my bags. I feel like I'd be feeding into the hype if I bought here. I would like to see more of a punctuation on this trend, a blow off top, a rejection, some kind of pattern being built. I want more punctuation so I can get a read on the market before I make a real decision. And right now I'm kind of on a hands-off approach. I already have my bags filled. I'm just riding this up, making gains. It's all great. And now I'm just waiting to see what the market does. I hope all that makes sense. So let's see what the chat is saying. I've been talking for a while. Let's see what chat says. So what do we got here? Bitcoin overall still holding these levels, still in the trend line. Ethereum still looking pretty good. Chainlink still looking pretty good. So people are asking about XRP now, and I think the attraction there is, of course, there's a lot of XRP supporters that are very loyal, right? And also it's a cheap coin, right? It's a cheap price, so people think, oh man, it's cheap. But guys, the supply is also huge. Just remember that. That is a wicked pump. And this is what I was saying. Even though I'm not a fan of XRP, I was saying the other day, I was like, this thing's probably gonna pump. And what I said to Donovan Jolly on DIY Investing on Twitter, I was like, on this day right here before we pumped, I was like, you know, as much as I don't like XRP, it's a low risk buy right now. That's what I said on Twitter. And like the day after I say that, I didn't buy it, but I probably should have, and it just rips right after I said that. Yeah, so this is pretty interesting. So what was I was talking about for XRP? I was talking on my channel or my stream about XRP, and I was saying that basically there's we can see that it clearly over the past 2 years, we've had a very intense descending triangle being formed, right, for 2 years. And we broke down out of that descending triangle, and then we had a lot of reaccumulation at the lows right there. And then for the first time, we started creating higher lows, right? This is the first time we've created higher lows for XRP since 2017, was off of March to now. First time. The proper analysis for XRP since 2017 was to be bearish until we started creating higher lows. And now, for the first time in multiple years, this is the only time you should have been bullish on XRP was after March. For the first time in years, XRP has finally broken the highs. 33 cents. We've created the first higher high. So this does indicate that the trend is changing and that we could be entering a longer term uptrend. The momentum has shifted. We're not getting lower highs, lower lows anymore. We're actually getting higher lows and higher highs. The momentum has shifted. And there was a lot of accumulation at the lows. Somebody with fat pockets, somebody that was probably selling XRP for 2 years straight, just rebought a lot at the lows, right? And now it's, now it's getting pumped again. So XRP looking pretty good. Are we in a channel of some sorts? Let's see what this looks like. Well, not this low doesn't really line up. Maybe that wick low doesn't. Let's go with this. Why is my mouse being weird? There it is. Kind of like a channel, I guess, in a sense. It's not perfect or anything, but you're hitting the upside of it now. Really, I would just be going with horizontals, like horizontal. XRP has been really easy to trade with horizontal resistance and support. 50 cents. Maybe 50 cents would be your next whole number target. Yeah, I mean, this thing could continue up. It could. Now, I'm not saying, I mean, if you didn't already buy XRP on this pump, I mean, now you're just FOMOing. But yeah, I think that this thing could potentially come up to 50 cents. Very possible. Now, short term, let's look at short term. We have a little bit of price history right here that we played off of multiple times. So yeah, I mean, you could be back testing some areas. I mean, to be honest though, this is so long ago that I don't think it's really all that significant. If you pulled back, maybe you'd find a bounce off of 0.376 before running up to 50 cents. But I think 50 cents is a good upside whole number target based on horizontal resistance. Could be anywhere from 47 to 50 cents. But it's looking pretty good. And if you're looking at the past, 50 cents is probably going to play it's going to be a major role in resistance. I guess you could also look at this. Because we did find huge support here in 2018. A lot of resistance here, big support, big resistance again. So I guess your major resistance is in between 45 and 50 cents. I would just go with horizontals for XRP because right now they're, other than maybe this uptrend line, it's mostly playing off the horizontals. XRP. Yeah, I think it's clear that somebody was reaccumulating XRP at the lows, somebody with fat pockets, and now they're looking to push it up again. Because why would XRP, it's got 99 billion coins. Why would it sell off for 2 years straight when everything else is actually getting like good structure? It's because somebody was selling. Somebody with a lot of XRP was selling for a long time, right? There was more selling interest than buying interest for 2 years straight until March. Boom, everything changed. So now you could have an uptrend on your hands. It's very possible. looking at chat here. And you can bet, because the supply is so big and there's clearly somebody with a lot of XRP out there who just keeps dumping and keeps making money. Next time it pumps, you can be sure that they're going to have another controlled sell-off. Very likely another controlled sell-off would come after the next bull market. And that's just the way that XRP is being played by the people that own the most XRP. Controlled sell-off is likely after the next bull market, just like before. Probably be a great short opportunity. But again, it probably will pump soon. It probably will pump even more. But yeah, I guess congrats to all the XRP people. Your coin is finally interesting again. It's finally doing things, and it's finally getting the attention. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of FOMO into this one, because it's nice and cheap. You're going to get nice percentage gains on the way up. So yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of bullish speculation on this now that you've had a floor, higher lows, higher highs. And yeah, congrats to those of you who have been buying XRP since mid 2019, I guess. I guess that's where you're now at in profit. So congrats to all you guys. It finally happened. The XRP army is strong today, guys. The XRP army is strong today. They're raging into the market once again. I'm sure they're having a ball right now. I think last night I clicked on Alex Cobb's XRP stream, and he was like, he was freaking out. It's pretty funny to watch. Only 90% down from all-time high, yeah. So Bitcoin the trend is looking really interesting here. Keep in mind, guys, on the daily for Bitcoin, we are like, we're like off the trend line. So, there is a possibility that we could come back to retest the trend line. Though short-term doesn't really matter all too much to me. Depends, right? We are getting a pretty steady increase in demand. If we can bounce off the short-term trend line on the 4-hour, then we may be ranging right up to the all-time high. By the way, guys, I am producing another interesting intro video for 20K. I actually had a bigger plan for 20K for like a cool thing to do on YouTube, but it happened so fast that I just couldn't get it done. And it's so soon. It's coming. It's probably going to come soon, right? But I do have an interesting video being made now that I think you guys are going to like. Yeah, ETH 1,000 USD in 2021, quite possible. I don't see why not, especially if Ethereum has been using the 21-week EMA as support since April of 2020. We have actually stayed above that. It's a very key, very magical moving average that we have been staying above the whole time, right? So as long as Ethereum can trend with the 21-week EMA, I think that sometime in 2021, we're probably going to end up hitting $1,000 as long as we keep trending with it, and Bitcoin remains bullish. If Ethereum is holding the 21-week EMA, that would likely point towards $1,000 by next year. But that is again a speculative guess, and anything can happen. XRP prediction, I'm not sure. My prediction for XRP, massive pump, controlled sell-off after bull market. Other than that, I don't know. Go ask DIY investing, Donovan Jolly. He's all about it, and he would probably answer it much better than me. I mean, some people would call me an XRP hater, but I'm more of just a skeptic. Though, as I've been saying, even though I'm a hater of XRP, I actually told you guys that the trend is changing for the past couple of weeks. I was saying we're probably going to pump. We're probably going to pump. Low risk buy, low risk buy. Even though I didn't do it, but I was just being a realist for 2 years. Anyway, Bitcoin's still holding this level. We're coming up I think within the next 1 or 2 4-hour periods, we'll probably see some pretty good movement. Maybe it would take longer. Maybe it would take 1, 2, 3 or 4 4-hour periods. Within those next 4-hour periods, we're probably going to see something for Bitcoin. Oh wait, did I miss something? Vikrant, I'm sorry, I think I missed your tip. Let me see something. I did. Vikrant said, so I appreciate the 5, Vikrant. He says, would you suspend your dollar cost average plans at these levels and wait for a pullback? Yeah, guys, that's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying. Earlier in the stream, what I was saying was, you know, at these levels, we're kind of getting to a point of potentially over exuberance in the short to medium term. We're getting to that point of over exuberance in the trend, and a potential blow off top is coming. And I feel that if I buy in here, I'm feeding into the hype. I'm feeding into the hype train and the FOMO train, and I don't like that as a trading strategy. I don't even like that as a DCA strategy. What I want is a punctuation on the trend, whether that is a blow off top rejection or just rejection or some sort of pattern being played, some sort of pattern being developed. I need something to show me what's going on with this trend. I need some sort of punctuation so that I have a grip on what's going on, rather than just like hoping that if I buy here, it's going to, you know, hopefully we just keep going up. It's not really, to me, it just doesn't make sense. You know, I'd rather deploy my capital in an area that I feel more confident in, rather than very speculative area of just, you know, Bitcoin just running up. You know, I'd rather deploy my capital at a better area of value, preferably somewhere below 16K, 14K being optimal, 12,000 being an insanely good entry for Bitcoin, which I don't think is going to happen, but anywhere below 16K, pretty good buy. 14K, really good buy for Bitcoin right now. Are we going to go that low? Maybe we never hit those prices again, but that's where I would love to accumulate more Bitcoin. Anything below 16K is becoming a good buy once again. That's what I would say. What are, I haven't even looked at this today. From low to high with the fibs here. There's no confirmed top, so you're not really supposed to fib this, because we don't really have a confirmed top yet. But yeah, just curious. Once you have a confirmed top, then you can fib. Somebody says Chainlink is trying to pump. It is, isn't it? Let's go to the 4 hour. Yeah, it's trying to get there. It's trying to get there. So yeah, we popped above my price target that I talked so much about for the past many weeks. $13.66. We tried to get above it, fell below it, popped above it. Boom, hit, you know, confirmed support with a really nice 4 hour close, and then ran straight up within 1 4 hour period from about 14 to 15.15. And we, you know, a little bit of an indecision candle at this resistance here, and now we're looking to push up even more. So I hope you guys accumulated Chainlink. Hope you were getting in. Some people get annoyed at how much I tweet about Chainlink. You know, there was a period where I was very hype about Chainlink on this channel, but I tried to, you know, and I got a lot of complaints for it. So I was trying to okay, let me just like use Twitter for Chainlink more than I do for YouTube. So it's like Twitter's like more Chainlink focused, though it's mostly focused on Bitcoin, but I use Twitter to talk about Chainlink more than I do YouTube. I think it's a little bit better that way. I talk about Chainlink a little bit on my videos, but a lot of people were complaining after a while. So I'm sure if we pump up again, you'll see it on YouTube here soon. Joe says, missed my super chat. €2. He says, I see speculation of Link hitting $1,000. What are your thoughts? You know, guys, that type of a prediction is really hard to make, and anybody that's saying that Chainlink's going to hit $1,000 in this next bull run is really just obviously speculating, right? They're just speculating. So the only calculation that I could really make is like take the Ethereum supply, which is, you know, let's just say three times less than Chainlink, which is not the correct number. But just take Ethereum, you know, and we pumped what was it, 4,500%? I don't know, we did this calculation yesterday. Basically, like $250 would be like a peak price for Chainlink in the next bull run. Could it go higher than that? Yeah, it could. It could go to 500 maybe, but I don't think 1,000. I would say 100, which is less than a 10x away. Totally possible. 250, pretty damn good price for a bull market. 500, insane. Right? $1,000, absolutely insane. Not sure if that'll happen, but who knows? Maybe somebody will clip this and be like, Kevin was wrong about Chainlink, and it hits $1,000. Who knows? But yeah, $250 possibly. But again, that's just like maybe if Chainlink does something like Ethereum did in the last bull market. Totally speculative though. Again, world events can change everything. We could be well under this bull market. We could be doing so good, and then like all of a sudden some major war breaks out, and then like everyone's like, oh no, I want money, I want cash or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like any world event can change anything. So people that make predictions, it's very speculative. And even me, like if I make a prediction, it becomes true. There is some luck involved with that. Like I have a lot of experience, and my experience points to me like determining something for an analysis, but just keep in mind that don't listen to people too, like your opinion should be the most important opinion, not like random people on the internet that say that something's going to happen. If you just believe people like that, you got to rethink how you're consuming your content. It should really just be a grain of salt, guys. Like even for me, right? Let's talk about my mistake here for Chainlink, because why not? Chainlink broke the all-time high. So I was talking about Chainlink on this channel around $4. I mean, we were talking about it at $1.80. I even talked about it at 50 cents on this channel in 2018, but we were talking about it at $4 earlier this year. And I was saying Chainlink's probably going to break out and hit 750 or something like that. That was the analysis. And we did that. We hit that target. We exceeded it, and we came back. And as we were pulling back, I was saying this is probably going to end in a larger scale trend. Larger scale parabolic trend. That happened. We broke out, continued up. We exceeded some targets, hit $20, and then we pulled back. And I thought that this was going to continue. I thought that Chainlink was going to go on a parabolic run, find another parabolic low, and rally again. And it seemed to be that's what was happening until we got this reversal candle here, and things started to look a little bit more bearish. And a lot of people were FOMOing at Chainlink at this point, probably because of my videos as well. And then it broke down because the S&P 500 reversed, Bitcoin reversed, everything reversed at that point, and it effed up the Chainlink trend, right? Maybe we could have broken out again, but everything reversed at that point, including the S&P 500 and Bitcoin, and Chainlink dumped. So yeah, I mean, like I've been wrong as well. And if you listen to what I said, and I was saying that we could go parabolic here and run to $40, you probably lost money. Right? So you can't just trust everybody's word on the internet. Your opinion should be much more important than mine or anyone else. That means you have to be educated, guys. You have to educate yourselves so that you can make your own decisions. Though I will just in my defense, after we broke this daily candle right here on September 1st, I did make a video where I said, if you bought Chainlink at these prices, maybe you want to reposition yourself at lower prices. So I did give a bearish warning just to back myself up. I did give a bearish warning before we actually crashed. But anyway, regardless, guys, Chainlink is doing great. Chainlink is the top performer in the top 20 coins, up 570% this year, only less than 30% away from the all-time high. Breaking resistance right now, less than 30% away from the all-time high. Pretty damn good, guys. Again, if you bought in this range, you're now at break even. So cool. Chainlink doing great. But anyway, yeah, I think that a lot of people you see on YouTube won't sit there and talk about their mistakes, and I just did. I think that's interesting, right? Guys, if you're enjoying the content, definitely hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Somebody said XRP breaking again. Well, it's not actually breaking out yet, but it is pushing up. Here's the 1 hour chart for XRP. Yeah, finding some support again. 45, I guess you could say now 43. From here, from about 45 cents to 50 cents is a pretty strong resistance zone. Let's just make that clear though for XRP. It is pretty strong. We do have previous descending triangle support, a lot of resistance here, more resistance here. 50 cents is going to be a big level to break. And once you get above that, it's going to be a moonshot. But just keep in mind, you do have a pretty strong resistance at 50. I have no doubts that XRP is going to pump, but yeah, I'm not going to FOMO it now. I actually considered scalping Ethereum the other day. Sorry, XRP the other day. It was a pretty simple trade idea that I never took, but it would have worked perfectly. Which was literally buying here and selling right here along this area where the wicks are. Anyway, so yeah, Chainlink is doing pretty good, coming up, trying to break above that resistance. The next major target, guys, the next major target for Chainlink is $17.28, around that range. That is the next major swing high target. So that'll be pretty interesting. You know, if Bitcoin does see a pump or a pullback, you know, Chainlink could see a bit of a retrace. And if we get a bounce off of 1366 again, then that's going to be a really good entry. That's pretty prime entry right now because we're on an uptrend. If you want to get in on this uptrend, if we do pull back, if at any point we do pull back to 1366, that would be a prime entry for Chainlink. Yeah, people are talking about, so Litecoin plus PayPal, says Roger. I guess Litecoin is on PayPal now or something. What is, has Litecoin gone even crazier than it did before? Let's see. Yep. So this was a pretty nice move here. Though keep in mind, you know, Litecoin is behind the market. It's a lagging coin now. You know, Litecoin used to be a precursor type of indicator where Litecoin would kind of like do things before the rest of the market. What is the word I'm looking for? It used to be a leading indicator, I guess, for the market. Now it's a lagging indicator. Litecoin is finally Litecoin is finally breaking above this multi-year resistance, which Ethereum and Bitcoin did a very long time ago. And Litecoin is finally doing that now, maybe because of PayPal hype, I guess. But yeah, this was an interesting one. Pretty easy to trade as well. That got removed for some reason. Looking at history here, yeah, that first target is also there is a lot of history here as well. But if you just bought the breakout and looked to target closer to 80 cents, it was a really nice swing trade, right? Buy a confirmed breakout and then just look to take profit at 70, 80 cents. Really nice move. Let's see, once you get above this level, guys, I mean, you're headed for what, 100? Pretty much. You have a couple wicks there in the past. That's going to be an area that the market's looking at. 98, 100 or so. Litecoin's next target, probably closer to 100. And then after that, which, I mean, 100 is going to be pretty big. You do have a lot of history here. About 199.89. A lot of previous price action there. I have a new mouse, and it's really weird. My new mouse is being weird. There we go. Yeah, so 100 is the next major target for Litecoin. Very simple horizontal resistance analysis, and that's really all you need, guys, for the most part right now for Litecoin. There's nothing complex about what's going on here. You broke above the multi-year resistance. You came up, you hit your first target, or your second target, I guess, and now you're exceeding it, looking for that major $100 target, which is a very significant price. You'll probably see resistance there. It's not only a whole number psychological resistance, but also This is where you found resistance 2017 and also 2018 major support, and you had multiple areas of resistance here. So 100 would be a pretty big level for Litecoin, possible profit taking zone, but long term I think Litecoin is going to go above 100. YP, what's up, man? So I think I missed some chats. Someone just linked to 420. Yeah, I mean Litecoin hit 420 on Coinbase. That'd be great if Chainlink hits 422. You know, I mean, you know, crypto's crazy, guys. Crypto is crazy. Litecoin started at $4, and then ran to 420. Now the supply. What is the supply for Litecoin though? Circulating supply is only 65 million. Or 884 million, which is not very much. That's probably why the price was able to get so high. For Chainlink, I think $250 would be a really nice peak, like a year from now, bull market high. 100 to 250, I think is pretty good. I think 100 is minimum though. 100 is minimum, closer to 250 probably. Peace out, Dusty. Just checking chat real quick. I mean, Litecoin's probably going to get a lot of momentum. I mean, it already did it started to catch a lot of momentum. I mean, Litecoin is obviously a name that everyone knows. It's readily available on a lot of the top exchanges, ready to be traded. So yeah, the breakout is gaining some momentum, and people are able to speculate on it, willing to speculate on it, and so yeah, you're catching a lot of buys here. But of course, you know, Litecoin did have a lot of loss of interest over time, and even like, of course, Litecoin is not a DeFi project, but you know, it didn't even do anything as all the rest of the altcoins were doing stuff, and it only just recently broke out. But you know, maybe this will there'll be a resurgence in Litecoin interest, because a lot of people that were involved in the 2017 run were buying Litecoin. So maybe if Bitcoin's breaking out again and people go onto, you know, people that left crypto, maybe come back and they see Litecoin on the exchange, they might buy it. It's cheap, whatever. So Bitcoin is at 18,700, still holding these levels. This 4 hour is now green. And it looks like we are still trending, guys. We're still finding a little bit of support along this trend line. Again, the trend is becoming even more vertical now here on the 4 hour. See that? You know, this channel bouncing off support, hitting resistance, trading sideways into support, bouncing up, hitting resistance, trading sideways into support. Now we've bounced up to resistance and we're finding higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, squeezing into the resistance. Very different from anything else we've done before on this trend. So if we do get a break of resistance, we're probably going to be ending up breaking the all-time high, or at least hitting it, and probably getting a blow-off top of some kind. Could things get more bullish than that? Could we just never get a retrace until we hit 30K? I guess. I think that's very unlikely, though. I think we're going to see some volatility as we come up to 20K or after we go above it. I think Max Kaiser said Bitcoin will hit 28,000 before reversing. Maybe. Who knows, guys? Who knows? Just looking at chat here. I mean, yeah, for people are wondering, where is Bitcoin going to go in the next run? You could pull up the stock to flow model. I think the stock to flow model is probably valid for now, but it does have flaws. It does have a flaw, and that is that how could the stock to flow model possibly continue on forever? Like, if we're just looking at, like, I think it's going to play a role in the next run. We'll probably follow it for the most part. But let's just like zoom out here and take a look at what the stock to flow model is suggesting Bitcoin should be doing. Okay, so here we go. This is, 2014 going into 2016, 2017, and then this current, period that we're in now. What does the stock to flow model tell us that is going to happen to Bitcoin? Apparently Bitcoin is just going to go straight up in this exact pattern forever. And this is the big flaw that I see with the stock to flow. Is this really what's going to happen? Is Bitcoin just going to be that easy to trade, where, we're gonna sell Bitcoin at 300 or 250,000, and then we're gonna rebuy at 50,000, and then we're gonna sell again at 4 million, and then buy back at 2 million or half a million, and then we're gonna. Do you see what I'm saying? Is that really how this is gonna play out? Is that really how? I don't know. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I think there must be a flaw. There must be a flaw with the stock to flow model if this is all it's showing us. That is so linear, and I don't know. I think that model will break someday, but I do think that it is valid for this cycle so far. At some point, I think Bitcoin will flatline at a certain price and become very stable within a very high range, probably. And it'll start trading differently at some point. I don't think we're going to follow stock to flow forever, but at least for the next 4 years or so, yeah, sure, it's probably going to follow the stock to flow model. Do you guys see what I'm saying? I just don't understand how that could be. If that's true, if anyone out there swears by stock to flow, they better be selling at 250K at the top of the next bull run in the year and buying back at 50 and then selling again at 3 million. That's apparently all you got to do, according to stock to flow. That's apparently it. That simple. That's why I think there's a bit of a flaw there. But again, I do think it's valid for now. We have almost 900 people watching. Definitely hit that like button if you're new. Sorry, hit that like button if you're enjoying the content, and subscribe if you're new. So what is ETH doing here? Are we pushing? Did we hit 547 earlier today? Is that the price? Yeah. So 4-hour Ethereum is starting to move a bit. So I guess what was that next target that we were looking at for Ethereum? Now that things are still looking pretty decent. Bitcoin's still trading sideways. I mean, you could look at this as a way to map out the targets for Ethereum. You could also, I guess, go from here to here. And you would say that we're breaking above the 1618 right now. But the 1618 from this high to this low and the 618 fib extension are both lined up almost at the same place. So the 618 fib extension and the 1618 are very much aligned right now from these two, depending on how you want to fib this. I'm not sure if this is correct because of this. I'm not sure if you want to fib from this high to this low instead, but I would think I would go from this high to this low. But yeah, the next target, I guess, would be about 668, potentially. Closer to the 786, maybe 670, you could say. About 670, around that range, would be the next major upside target for Ethereum. So that would be crazy if Ethereum did make it there. That'd be pretty interesting. And again, I do think that Ethereum is an official bull market now that we've broken out again and created another macro higher high. This is a sustained increase in price over a long period of time now. And yeah, we flipped that previous speculative ceiling into a speculative floor for now. What about Ethereum Classic? Is it Ethereum Classic really not doing much right now? I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure why you would be interested in Ethereum Classic when you got ETH2 coming out, guys. This is Ethereum Classic right now on the weekly. Wow. This thing's not doing much. Ethereum Classic on the weekly chart. Really not doing much, guys. A big lack of interest here. Clearly. You're not even able to get higher highs on price. You already got rejected off that high. Yeah, I mean, you're still stuck in this floor range. Yeah, Ethereum Classic not looking all too hot. I mean, really, what you really want to do, I would say that if Ethereum Classic has any interest whatsoever for the next bull run, if Ethereum Classic is going to be going up in the next bull run, if your own macro analysis for Bitcoin points upward for the next year, then I would say that anything below $10 for Ethereum Classic is an accumulation zone, actually. Anything below $7 for Ethereum Classic is a pretty good accumulation zone. But that's really it. If you believe in Ethereum Classic long term, I mean, here you go. There's your buy. So I don't see any interest there. 51% attacked 6 times, says STI guy. Yeah. Or we're pending on the next 51% attack for ETC. I guess that's why no one wants it, because it's pending. It's coming, apparently. So what do we got for Bitcoin Dominance here on the weekly chart? Very interesting stuff for Bitcoin Dominance. We do have this downward sloping resistance trend for Dominance, right? So we had the past month or two, we've been picking up steam for Bitcoin Dominance, of course, as we've been, just running to the upside. And now as Bitcoin hits the top of the run, well, not actually top, sorry, I shouldn't have said top. As Bitcoin hits close to the all-time high and we start trading sideways short term right here, as we start trading sideways short term, Dominance, finds massive rejection. This is, I know that the Dominance chart on TradingView has had some issues recently, but I guess this is correct, right? Huge wick up and down. So a lot of money began moving to altcoins recently, and we closed, or no, sorry, we didn't close. If we close this weekly below the resistance line, then we could see continued decrease in dominance for Bitcoin. So if this weekly comes up and closes above the trend line, I would say that maybe Bitcoin has a chance of regaining more dominance. If we close this weekly below the downward sloping resistance line, then that could mean that Bitcoin Dominance is looking for continued downside. And guys, just like 2017, in the bull run, as Bitcoin was gaining in price, we saw a decrease in dominance. I would suspect something similar, probably over time, most likely. But we'll see. But that is interesting that we are finding resistance here. Something else that is very important right now, something that is very important to keep your eye on, is going to be the US dollar index, guys. This is a big one right now. Definitely keep your eye on this. Looking at the US dollar index on the weekly chart here. If we're going a little bit closer, actually, let's just go to the daily. US dollar index, guys, this is one to watch for sure. If you're going to watch anything, watch the US dollar index next week. This is a big one because we are sitting at the floor. We have we have support here, right? We're finding horizontal lows at, right above 92 for the DXY. Now, actually, I got to pull this up. If the US dollar index bounces, Bitcoin will probably create a local top and reverse down. Okay, let's take a look at the correlation here. Very strong inverse correlation, extremely strong inverse correlation. During the COVID-19 pandemic, of course, cash was king and Bitcoin did not have a great time, right? So as cash was being, people were getting back into cash because of the pandemic. They weren't sure what to do. Bitcoin lost huge amounts in value. And then once the US dollar index started to fall below this support at 96 or so, right, and started to trend straight down. Bitcoin trended straight up. Interesting, very strong inverse correlation. Why? Because Bitcoin was designed as a hedge against what? Exactly this. Bitcoin was designed to be a hedge against the US dollar, right? So the inverse correlation is strong. If the US dollar pumps off this low here, guys, can you see that? Yeah, if the US dollar index does find support, yeah, we're probably going to see a local top for Bitcoin, at least short term, a reversal, right? Very likely. So keep your eye on the US dollar index. If the US dollar index loses this support and breaks down, Bitcoin it's probably going to get crazy, guys. It's probably going to go blast through 20K and hit like 21, 22, 23K, and then maybe you'll pull back to retest 20, you know. So the US dollar index is at such a critical spot right now that you should definitely keep your eye on. Very much, very important right now. Very important. The inverse correlation is so strong for Bitcoin and the US dollar index. So if you're going to be watching anything, watch the US dollar index next week, guys. Going to be a huge player in the next move for Bitcoin. Big one, big one. Guys, definitely smash up that like button if you're enjoying the content, and subscribe to this channel if you're new, and hit that bell icon if you haven't already. Select all, right? Bell icon, select all. Get my notifications next time I stream, next time I upload. Make sure you're good. Make sure you're set for that. And guys, definitely check out everything in the description. Guys, the Cryptowatch platform right here, this platform, it's free to sign up. And it's a 100% crypto focus. You can chart on this platform. You can also trade on this platform, right? So I'm sitting here looking at Kraken on the 1 hour. Let's say I want to take a trade on Bitcoin. Boom, I open up the tab and here we go. I'm ready to trade immediately. So I can just execute trades right off the chart. Pretty cool, right? That is all available with Cryptowatch, and it's free to sign up and it's free to use. Click that link below, sign up. It's free. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Somebody says Link is still pumping. Well, it's not really moving that much. It's getting above the 618, which is pretty cool. Yeah, the next move for Bitcoin will be interesting. Bitcoin trading sideways for the past 8 4-hour periods is what has allowed altcoins to move very recently, right? So when Bitcoin is pumping and then we trade sideways, altcoins start to pop off left and right. If Bitcoin starts pumping again, people will probably leave the altcoins for Bitcoin, for the short term at least. And if Bitcoin dumps again, people will just be selling, right? So the next pump or dump, altcoins may stall. Maybe. There is also a chance, there's also a possibility that if Bitcoin pumps soon, there's so much bullish speculation and there's so much money coming into the market that everything might go up at once a little bit, which has kind of started to happen, right? We've kind of started to get that 2016, 2017 vibe where everything's kind of starting to move up together rather than Bitcoin just being cycled, the same money cycling through Bitcoin, you know, below 10K or below 14K, right? For most of this range, it was just the same people buying and selling and cycling in and out of Bitcoin altcoins. Like, it was very much not new money coming in. But now we're at a point where new money is probably going to start coming in. So when that happens, if Bitcoin pumps, maybe everything starts going up at once. Maybe that's possible. But we know that altcoins will probably stall if Bitcoin pumps. And if Bitcoin does break this upward sloping trend line, you know, everything's probably going to go down for the short term. But definitely, if we do break down, look for a bounce off the support channel or the support line of the channel. Just looking at chat, we've talked about a lot today, guys. We've talked about a lot of stuff. Oh yeah, we can also look at something else. I got something else to look at as well. Guys, we've been streaming for over an hour and a half. Definitely smash up that like button and subscribe if you're new. Also, let's take a look here at something really cool. And that most of you guys may have heard this by now, probably. I think Sunny Decree was one of the first people to report this that I remember. Because I wasn't even paying attention to this. But Bitcoin did hit a high, Bitcoin broke an all-time high market cap. We've been talking about this for the past few days, but yeah, so Bitcoin at the peak of the 2017 run, about 325 billion in market cap. Now, currently 345 billion, all-time high in market cap. Very cool, obviously because Bitcoin has been getting mined since that time, so the supply is higher. Now, looking at the top large cap companies on the trading view here, we can see what is in the range of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now at 345 billion, and look who it is, JP Morgan. Bitcoin is now rivaling, Bitcoin is now on par with JP Morgan Chase in market cap. Remember JP Morgan, guys? Remember that bank that was talking crap on Bitcoin for years, and Jamie Dimon was saying, I don't care about Bitcoin, you can buy Bitcoin, whatever, I don't care about that. Remember all that? Well, looks like Bitcoin is going to overtake JP in value real quick. Bitcoin is the fastest horse, going to break above JP Morgan's market cap value most likely. And Bitcoin is already worth more than Nvidia, I believe. Yeah, I think we're now worth more than Nvidia. Bitcoin is worth more than MasterCard. Bitcoin is worth more than Home Depot, worth more than Disney, worth more than Verizon. Bitcoin is worth more than Coca-Cola. Bitcoin is worth more than PayPal. Bitcoin is worth more than Netflix. Bitcoin is worth more than a lot of things. And if Bitcoin does run up to 100K, 200K, whatever, we'll probably be sitting up here with Facebook and Google at some point, most likely. We'll be up here somewhere, which is great. Take that, Jamie Dimon, even though he was probably buying Bitcoin secretly the whole time. Yeah, Bitcoin is absolutely taking over the market right now, taking the world by storm once again, guys, once again. So it's going to be interesting if Bitcoin can hold this trend on the 4-hour chart. We have been creating bearish divergence all the way up, but TA so far doesn't matter for this Bitcoin trend. We've been creating bearish divergence, which it always played out short term, but we always came back. And we do have it again. We do have bearish divergence again. So we'll see. We'll see if it plays out this time or not. But yeah, so what we were talking about earlier, what we were discussing earlier was that, we have to look for pattern development. We got to look for market structure on this next, whatever Bitcoin does next. We got to be looking for how the things develop, what kind of pattern is playing out. Because again, the way that the market is structured and the pattern that's playing out is going to explain, it's going to show you what the psychology is of the market, right? It's going to explain to you what the psychology is. So, like descent in triangles, of course, are a decrease in demand with an increase of selling interest. That is the most common market cycle top pattern for Bitcoin. One thing that happened in 2016, 2017, as we were breaking above the all-time high, was we had this crazy rejection off the all-time high, the 35% drop, which basically just meant that there was a lot of bullish speculative demand until we hit the all-time high, and then people were, I guess, spooked of that price and wanted to take profits, and then selling interest picked up rapidly, and probably a lot of the people that were buying into the pump got spooked as it reversed, and they panic sold. Probably that's what happened, and also, of course, a lot of profit taking involved. We would retest the 21-week EMA, and then rally up, create higher lows. I think that some kind of wicked action like that is more likely right now than a descent in triangle, right? I don't think we're at a market cycle top here, but if we are, we could expect potentially a flat line of demand and a decrease sorry, a flat line of demand and an increase of selling interest, which would create a descending triangle pattern, which would indicate a decrease in momentum, right? I don't think it's likely though. I think that if anything's going to happen, we're probably going to run up to the all-time high, maybe blast through it, find some crazy volatility and a consolidation along 20K. I think this is what's, again, totally speculative, completely speculative thing for me to say, but I think something like this is much more likely right now based on the demand and the institutional interest for Bitcoin and the amount of money that was printed by the Federal Reserve this year. Yeah, I think Bitcoin is looking pretty strong, and maybe we'll come back to retest the 21-week EMA briefly before running up again. That's what I think is most likely right now. Just some crazy action at the all-time high, consolidate along 20K or below 20K, and then rally up for the next uptrend. Now, of course, we do need to make sure that the stock market is relatively stable, at least relatively stable, because an extremely bearish stock market is not good for Bitcoin. An extremely bullish stock market is good for Bitcoin because it's just a confidence game, right? If the stock market is showing confidence, speculators will be confident to speculate on Bitcoin. If the stock market is not showing confidence, speculators will not be as confident to speculate on Bitcoin. That's historically true. That's historically true, though Bitcoin was a little bit less correlated during election season. But remember, guys, a lot of people are talking about Bitcoin's not correlated anymore. It's less correlated right now, I will admit, but the S&P did beat Bitcoin to the all-time high. So the S&P did beat Bitcoin to the all-time high. So there is some degree of correlation between the S&P and Bitcoin. There is. And I explained that in my last stream as well. But yeah, guys, by the way, the most important correlation right now, the one that's always the most important no matter what, is the US dollar index paired to Bitcoin. And remember, guys, if the US dollar index pumps, then we will likely get a local top for Bitcoin. If the US dollar index dumps and breaks this support, Bitcoin will probably rip through 20K. Not even kidding. That's probably going to be a big player here. Guys, I appreciate almost 1,000 of you guys tuning in. This is awesome. Definitely hit that like button, subscribe. Let's see how many likes. You guys want to do the like competition again? I always like this one. We got to set a precedent here, a precedent for this. 300 likes in the next, we're already too high. 300 likes in the next 30 seconds. Ready? Go. 300 likes in the next 30 seconds. It's not going to happen, though, because we already have too many likes. You guys already did such a good job. You guys have 20 seconds. Let me read chat. Ten seconds, 8 seconds left. No, you guys already liked the video too much. 300 likes in 30 seconds is the number we got to get next time. I think next time I stream, I'm just not going to tell people to hit the like button until we have a good amount of viewers, and then I'm going to do the contest and see how crazy we can go. By the way, guys, for those of you that are in my Patreon, very soon, for all of you guys in Patreon, I'm going to be announcing the Chainlink price prediction contest, and somebody's going to win a few $100s worth of Chainlink over there in Patreon. So that's coming up pretty soon. But yeah, guys, I mean, we've talked about a lot in this stream. If I continue, I would probably end up repeating myself too much. We've talked about Bitcoin on the weekly, Bitcoin on the daily, Bitcoin on the 4-hour. We talked about Ethereum, long-term, short-term. We talked about Chainlink, long-term, short-term. We talked about a lot of other stuff, a few other coins. We talked about, what else did we talk about? MarketCap, the S&P. We talked about the US dollar index. All of this, all of that I just said, all the stuff I just said is in this stream. So if you want to check it out, rewind the stream, you can watch it back. I'm probably going to end the stream now. I appreciate all of you guys tuning in. I had a great time today. This was a fun stream. And if you guys like this content, definitely subscribe to the channel. And you guys did a great job hitting that like button, so I appreciate it a lot. And let's see here. I think we're good, guys. I think I've talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. We did get another 100 viewers on this stream, which is awesome. It's always good to see. Fireworks for the 100 viewers. Sorry, 100 subs. And fireworks for just Bitcoin being amazing, you know? Fireworks as in celebration for Bitcoin just being amazing. And fireworks for the alts finally popping off. Finally, guys, we got what we wanted. Everything is mooning now. We're all getting rich. It's great. Just keep in mind, Bitcoin could see some extreme volatility at or around the all-time high, whether we break above it or not. Expect volatility. Understand that crypto is very much based on, you know, the volatility is what allows the trend to go up so much in the long term, right? The huge upswings, the huge pullbacks are all part of the game that allows the price to go so high long term. So you have to be able to stomach the huge upswings and downswings to get that long-term prize in the end. So you got to be able to stomach the moves, guys. You got to be able to stomach the big moves if you want to make money in this market long term. Okay? Stomach the moves, accumulate at good areas of value. Don't be a FOMOer. Buy when people are panicking. Buy when the world is ending. You know, get in a good areas of value, buy good prices. Don't be a sucker. And yeah, don't be a sucker, basically. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys are all profiting, making great gains. And I wish you the best of luck. We'll see what happens with Bitcoin as we're coming up on one of the most critical levels in its history right now. Amazing time to be in the crypto market. 2020 was the best time to get into crypto. So congrats to all you guys out there, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Peace out. Of course, always a big shout out to everybody that donated today. Shout out to BTC to 20K. Shout out to David. Oh, David Kim. David Kim donated. I didn't even see it. Wow. My bad, David Kim. I didn't even see your donation. My bad. Hayo and to the moon, Kevin, son of Sven. Much appreciated, man. Much appreciated. I don't know how I didn't see your donation. I appreciate that. EXY coming in with the five says, or sorry. Shout out to EXY. Shout out to Vikrant S. Shout out to Joe Barnes as well. Appreciate it, guys. you that are still here, still enjoying the music, while you're here, you might as well check all the links below. You can sign up for Cryptowatch for free. You can download this Cryptowatch desktop app that I'm using right now on the screen for free. If you have a Cryptowatch account, it's all free. And then if you want to support this channel, you can join Patreon, take a look at one of my portfolios, how I operate within the crypto market, see some of my trades, all there in Patreon. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon. So all eyes on me just said, finally I found the stream before it's starting. You actually came in at the end, and the stream is actually ending. So apologize for that, but that is just what it is. Yeah, so guys, this is actually the end of the stream. So appreciate all you guys tuning in. We're just enjoying the music now. You can rewind the stream and watch it all you want. But yeah, for now the stream is over, but I will be back, of course. Thanks, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Good joke.